Tonight, Fijian Prime Minister presents 2013 Constitution to UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. Working group educates on basic rules of free trade. A new MIDA boss speaks of future plans. Good evening and welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Fijian Prime Minister Bainimarama met with the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, at the UN headquarters in New York yesterday. The Prime Minister presented a copy of Fiji's constitution to the Secretary General and briefed him about its key provisions. He also told Ban Ki-moon about the steps being taken towards holding elections by September 2014 and assured that the elections will be credible and transparent. On the same note, the Secretary General thanked Bainimarama for the speedy and expeditious deployment to UNDOF in the Golan Heights. The Secretary General also congratulated him for Fiji's 2013 chairmanship of the Group of 77 and China. The Secretary General and the Prime Minister discussed the importance of the development agenda of the UN as being paramount for the long-term interest of the global community. It's very important for all businesses, whether you're exporting or importing, to understand the free trade agreements in place as well as the duties or any tariffs imposed on the goods. Otherwise, it will be a very costly affair. Understanding the rules of origin or the basic rules of free trade agreement has always been hard to understand, especially for Fiji and the region. As Akosita Tale reports, a rules of origin working group is moving around the Pacific to simplify it so it can be understood by private sectors and customs authorities in Fiji.
The rules of origin sets the rules for trading or the rules for entry under preferential arrangement. However, this has been a challenge for many as they do not understand it. There are certain criteria that needs to be fulfilled before one can export, and the working group is looking at ways to simplify this.
We're trying to sort of addressing how we can be able to give example in this document, simplify the words, even the criteria, that not only the customs can be able to read and understand, but anybody who wants to export.
There has not been much training and awareness done to emphasize the rules, and it's important that the private sector understands all this.
If you are exporting, and you'll find that when the goods reach over to the other country and you think that it may be, there's no duties imposed, but when, reaching over to the other side, the importer have to pay duties. So that is a sort of, a costly affair.
If rules are not met, then goods will not qualify to get duty-free, which will result in more cost. The Customs Brokers and Forwarders Council says this is their main objective, to remove any barrier that will hinder export.
We are the players that make it happen. We are the ones who are actually doing the documentation for the exporters or the importers into Fiji. And my role here today is to see how the procedures can be actually simplified in terms of the operation part.
The private sectors have been emphasized to know and understand the rules to benefit the trade agreements and further their businesses. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The Media Industry Development Authority has been set up to look at the media standards in the country. And the man at the fort is determined to improve these standards and lift the level of professionalism across the media industry. Ritika Pratap spoke to newly appointed MIDA Chief Executive Mataya Kola.
The Media Industry Development Authority will look at the functions and responsibilities of the media industry. The authority will not only focus on improving standards, but will look into the difficulties faced by media personnel and find solutions. Chief Executive Mataya Kola says they will also look at the pay structure as it varies from institution to institution.
Entry levels for journalists, not only journalists but people who are in the media, whether it be programmers, announcers, technical people. So we are not only focusing on journalists but looking at media as a whole.
The authority has mapped out its plan and will work on it in phases. The two main areas that will be focused on is to bring the media personnel up to par with their code of conduct and to train them on how to cover the upcoming elections.
A whole lot of training that needs to be done most of the journalists that are here in the industry were not there when Parliament was there. So for us as a media authority, we want to look at, okay, training plans for media to understand how the Parliament operates. That's one. As we look at the elections, we want the media to understand the Constitution.
In his many years in the media industry, Matai says there's been many changes. However, there's a lot happening in Fiji, which makes the role of the media all the more important.
In exciting times right now. We've got a new constitution, and we need to see how it works from here on, because it's something new, it's challenging. For some of us who have been here all these years, we used to operate on constitutions that were there, but this one, we can contribute, as even the younger people.
Matai Akola will start work on his new position from Tuesday and says a lot of work needs to be done, including finding an office space. He says the authority is an independent body and will report to its board. His appointment is valid for 3 years. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Names of Fijian citizens to be honoured with medals this year for their service to the country have been endorsed by the Chancellor of the Order of Fiji, the President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau. And as Mika Longo reports, the College of Honour is calling for more women nominations in the future.
The College of Honour has noted that not many women were nominated for investiture in 2013.
For the nominations this year, this is a ratio of 1:7, 1 female to 7 males, and that's a very big margin.
The college strongly believes there are women who deserve to be honoured.
I'm sure that there are lots of women out there who have done a lot of good work and who deserve to be recognized for their contribution to the country. We need people to come and nominate these people so that they can also be recognized and awarded or rewarded for what they've done.
The 5-member College of Honour have decided on the list of investiture and recommended the names to the President for his endorsement.
What we are waiting for now is for the investiture that will be held sometime mid-October. We still have to inform the members who have the public who've been lucky to be nominated, and then we'll have their names gazetted before the investiture.
There are 4 categories of medals. The Companion for the Order of Fiji and the Office of the Order of Fiji are given to those who have done something for the country. The Member of the Order of Fiji and Medal of the Order of Fiji are given to those who've contributed to their particular community or field. Altogether, 40 medals are awarded every year. The number can increase if the President feels more people deserve to be honoured. Mika Longo, FBC News.
A team of eye specialists were in Lambasa conducting eye clinics as well as training for local eye doctors. There's a lack of ophthalmologists in the country, but with the week-long surgical outreach program, hopes are that Fiji will soon become another Pacific Island country to become self-sufficient in this field. Ritika Pratap reports.
Many people in Fiji have poor eyesight, and according to the Fred Hollows Foundation New Zealand, 70% is a result of untreated cataracts. Now the organization is working with the Pacific Eye Institute through a surgical outreach program to help people who can't afford costly medical treatment. A team was in Lambasa last week and over 100 people with cataracts were treated.
Avoidable blindness in the developing world is mostly due to cataract and also due to diabetic retinopathy. So we are attempting to get rid of the backlog of cataracts in the community and then treat people as they develop their cataracts.
Those treated needed to make advance bookings, and Dr. Roger says they are happy with the support from all levels.
It requires great teamwork to get the 100 cataracts done in 1 week. We're also very grateful to the people at Lambasa, so the nursing staff in the operating theatre and also in the eye clinic are doing a great job.
Dr. Roger believes this problem can be solved to some extent by improving medicine supply.
The thing that we are observing is that when we take the blood pressure and the blood sugars of all of our patients, we find that many of them are not really very well treated, and it seems like one of the problems is the supply of medicines to the rural areas.
The team's next outreach program is scheduled for November in Savo. The team will spend 2 weeks there, and people have been urged to make advance bookings with their district nurses. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
After the break, taking turtle conservation to the next level.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also, later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today is hit music. What's up?
Nisambula binaka oya wone kamanalangi oni nandorungo diao mai na diwa kina rua na bisinga mai na moniti kina bagarumbu kana Radio Fiji wan ndoma ibiti bongani bianyanu nama katalenga na bengo na sasibiani na tinna kaloka na bembongi ni bukilulu kena bima mani walu na bembongi ni bakarowai mai na mbuza ni balu ninge namaka.
Welcome back to FBC News. The President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau has visited 121 schools on Viti Levu in his capacity as Fiji's special representative on HIV and AIDS. And during the time, the President has spoken to over 55,000 students between the age of 15 to 21, who according to the United Nations are the most vulnerable to HIV and AIDS. The acting official secretary to the President's office, Pene Belainambuli, says the President's message was always clear, that young people ought to take precaution, be wary and avoid contracting the virus.
What we are doing now is His Excellency is actually assessing the responses that he gets from the students. And that's quite an important issue because from there you can see the way of thinking.
President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau has 50 schools remaining on his list to visit. There are secondary schools on Vanua Levu and in the maritime zones. The Fisheries Ministry is taking turtle conservation awareness to the next level. Officers are now part of provincial council meetings, hoping community leaders will take the message to their people. Shireen Lata reports.
Fiji's oceans are home to many breed of turtles, some of them on the list of endangered species. Wardens appointed by the Fisheries Ministry are keeping an eye on people who are likely to catch turtles illegally.
We also had appointed fish wardens and the Daunivonu in the Northern Division who monitors the sighting of turtles in their respective areas, nesting sites, sighted eggs and hatchlings.
Turtle breeding season begins next month and people are urged not to disrupt the life cycle of turtles.
No one is allowed to molest, take, kill, sell, destroy, dig up or export turtles, turtle shell, eggs, flesh or derivatives of any turtle species. It should not be used for any purpose, including education, research or tourism.
There's been numerous complaints in the past where people were found killing turtle illegally, mostly during breeding season. Those found harvesting or killing turtle are liable for a $500 fine or 3 months imprisonment. Those who sell turtles or turtle meat can end up paying $20,000 or 5 years imprisonment.
Turtles normally take 30 to 50 years to reproduce, a long time by any measure. If during this time we don't protect these species, they are under the threat of extinction. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
The behavior of medical officers towards patients and their relatives is a concern that the Health Ministry is trying to address. Epeli Tukuwasa reports that special training is now underway to educate medical staff on how to better interact with members of the public.
The ability of medical officers to better communicate with members of the public has been on the firing line most of the time. The ministry continues to receive numerous complaints on the type of answers people get when they come to the hospital for treatment.
Our ability to communicate with the public is a major source of concern and friction when people write and say that, well, I did get the right answer, or I'm going to sue you. Why? Because there is a need for us to be able to open up and be able to talk professionally and guide the patient and the relatives.
In addressing this problem, the ministry has started training staff, starting with the nurses, on how to provide better services to members of the public.
In fact, we have trained 38 nurses, and I'm anticipating that these nurses should be able to work around in their own work environment and make a difference.
Dr. Neil Sarmo says all health officials should work as a team, improve their services and communicate well with patients to reduce or even avoid getting any more complaints. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.
19-year-old Tavuales Titilia Ronganivatu was crowned Miss Sugar as the Sugar Festival came to an end in Lautoka yesterday. Representing Wilderness Amusements and Rides, Miss Sugar emotionally thanked the support of the city and her family. She says entering the pageant was for fun and experience, but never dreamt she would be crowned. Miss Autocare Limited Fozia Ali was crowned Miss Charity, while Miss Talent went to Miss Red Cross Society Alice Tanua, and Miss Personality to Miss Potent Electric Ashnita Lata. A total of $17,000 was raised at the festival. In sports news ahead, Vodafone Fiji Bati player looking to redeem himself in World Cup next month.
Bola, oya wasala bilawa. Do pataki au mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina varomboka. Kako ni valata na nomu suini sari na kaisa mariando loloma leone vani ni nau omgori ke de mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina varomboka na Bula FM number 2 en sere.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on Ghar Sansar, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
The cricket fraternity is gearing up for the Elite Player League, which begins next month. The competition will see our men's national age grade and senior sides going head-to-head. Chalindao Dakadaka has more.
Cricket Fiji officials will be using the upcoming EPL as a selection tool for our national reps. It will feature the national under-18s, the Fiji under-23s, the Fiji residents, as well as the Fiji expat sides.
We hope that this will strengthen competition both at senior level and development level, which is our main focus as of now.
The tournament has been held for the last 4 years as a means to also test their skills against each other before they compete at international level.
And, the EPL has been one of those major tools. So we hope to continue to use this competition to strengthen cricket in Fiji and also build the image of Cricket Fiji as well.
The league begins on the 19th of next month in Lautoka, with teams to face off in a round-robin format. Chalendo Dakavak, FBC Sports.
Football referees underwent an assessment today to examine their preparation for duty in the local arena. This comes at an opportune time with one of the biggest soccer tournaments coming up next week. Chalendo Dakavaka again.
After enduring a fitness test earlier this morning, these referees were tested on their knowledge of the rules of the game. This was done with the hope of preparing them for whatever competition they may officiate in.
They have done the national exam, they have done the fitness test, and now they will have to go back into their own district where they will officiate in local league games, secondary schools, primary school, business house, and that is the place where they will be groomed, and once they are ready, they'll be recruited into our main force where they will officiate in national league games.
One of the country's most experienced whistlemen says this assessment serves as a refresher course in preparation for the court's inter-district championships.
I would like to thank the RDO and all the instructors throughout the Fiji who are trying to develop referees and try to give him the first hint and the best as far as laws of the game is concerned, as the IDC is coming up and enforcement of the laws of the game will be very strictly adhered to.
15 referees from this course will be selected to officiate at the court's IDC tournament in Lautoka next week. Chalendo Dakavak, FBC Sports.
A Fijian player is making his mark in the Canadian rugby circuit, which has earned him a call up to the Canada rugby side for the America's Rugby Championships next month. Joseph Andolesau, better known as Joe, has been in impressive form for his Burnaby Lake club side, earning numerous accolades along the way. Canadian selectors took notice of the former Neitasiri player's explosive running as well as intelligent defence. The 31-year-old will now join the Canadian squad as they prepare to face USA, Uruguay and Argentina in a round-robin format. And it was generally fine weather across the country today with some cloud cover in Sabu-Sabu. And taking a look at the temperatures, Nandi joins Lambasa at the top of the temperature chart tonight with 31 degrees at 4 this afternoon. The capital city Suva was the coolest at 27. And you can expect the same weather pattern to prevail tomorrow. The further outlook is fine apart from brief showers about the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Keep those blankets close as we are expecting some cool nights ahead. For mariners, a strong wind warning still remains in force for Kandavu and Vatuira passages, Yasawa and Mamanutha waters, southwest Viti Levu and northern Vanua Levu waters. That's your news for tonight, but before we go, these are your headlines. Fijian Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has presented the 2013 Constitution to UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon in a meeting in New York yesterday. A working group has been tasked with educating businesses on basic rules of free trade. A new MIDA boss, Matai Akola, speaks of future plans. Now, this is your last chance to take part in the FBC poll. This week's question is Ben Ryan the right choice for Fiji Sevens? Visit www.fbc.com.fj to have your say. The results of this week's poll will be revealed in tomorrow night's bulletin. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. You have yourselves a wonderful and productive week ahead. Until next time, Odemanda.
आपकी शादी होने वाली है। 5 बच्चे होंगे। 5 हाय, मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेणु। सुनते रहेंगे मिर्ची FM। मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक।